When we think about how many marketing messages an average person is bombarded with every day, John Alexander, who wrote this book, Citizens, he says it's 3,000 marketing messages. And so marketers have to penetrate through that noise.
For a new entrepreneur, someone looking to enter into the natural product space, where do you see opportunity today?
In terms of categories or?
Sure, categories or maybe of need. You're saying how there's from food systems to retail to maybe the ecosystem of helping these products sell successfully or tell stories or marketing. Or I wonder where my efforts are today is really all in on marketing. I didn't really realize that for the first couple of years. I sold software for 10 years. I was selling big deals to big companies. So I only needed to sell 1, 2, 3 deals a year. I had a whole team. I had like unlimited resources from these companies I was working with. And marketing never served me at all in those. It was like no help at all. And so I was just like, oh, I can just brute force this. I could just do 3, 4 farmers markets a week and just kind of run myself ragged a bit. Now I'm like, oh, I can make this piece of content with you right now, and tens of thousands of people will see this through reels and clips. And it's like, oh, that's a much more effective one-to-many. And then it's like, how do you get many people to talk to many people? But yeah, I'm really enjoying the discovery of marketing and what that means, and learning storytelling and practicing through improv and Toastmasters and this here. Yeah, I just wonder where you're seeing opportunity.
Well, if we're talking about marketing and reaching people, I see opportunity, of course, in authenticity. In our space, marketing is becoming, it's being taken to a next level in a lot of ways. When we think about how many marketing messages an average person is bombarded with every day, John Alexander, who wrote this book, Citizens, he says it's 3,000 marketing messages. And so marketers have to penetrate through that noise. And a lot of times that is done through gimmicky things. And in our space, some of these campaigns, I'll talk about one and you can edit it out if you don't. But like the David protein bar and did you see what they did with their David Cod?
What I understand, the David protein bar is the guys that started RX Bar.
Yes.
Started the David, and those guys exited for like 700 million.
Yeah, 600 million to Kellogg's.
Chicago guys. I'm from Chicago. Yeah. I like their story.
I do too. And I remember when RX Bar first was exhibited at I think it was Expo East was their first show, and it was so revolutionary to have such simple ingredients and have them on the front of the label and be like, this is a delicious product and it's so clean and it is really whole food based. And so did an amazing job with that product. And then, of course, launching David, which is a different kind of product. It's a more processed product, really focused on protein and with low sugar content. But, they get a lot of backlash because of the hyper-processed components of the product. And so I think as part of addressing that, they launched a new product that is just cod fish. It's just a fillet of cod. And I think the point is to say, okay, you can get your protein from a whole food, but do you want to eat this piece of fish or do you want to eat this, peanut butter chocolate bar? And so I share that story because it's just an example of the kind of marketing that needs to happen to get through to people. And I'm not that excited about that marketing because I think it just starts to be just trying to one-up brand after brand. And so I think what you're doing with this podcast is a good example, but I really get energized by marketing that is about not just trying to sell someone something, but actually trying to engage them in a purpose or a movement or something that you're trying to do as a brand that goes beyond just selling them products. And so I'm obviously very passionate about conscious business and businesses, again, that are using passion to fuel the purpose of the business in service to people and planet for shared prosperity. That's how I define conscious business as part of the 5 Ps. And as part of that, where you would do so much good work as that brand if you could actually engage and galvanize people, not just as your consumers, but as citizens to be part of what you're building. And so
a movement.
Like a movement. And so I get excited about marketing that could actually go there. And that is what I could see building true loyalty with a brand.
This podcast is brought to you by B Micro, a company I'm deeply passionate about because I founded it in 2018. It's USDA organic freeze-dried microgreens for everyday nutrition and detox.
Sprinkle them on any meal or take them as a capsule to enjoy the many healthy benefits.
Shop now at bmicro.farm. Use code STEVE15 to save.
Who comes to mind that's doing a good job of that? Who's building that movement? What brands are building that movement today?
Well, I think the brands that are doing a good job of building a movement, of course, Patagonia comes to my mind first. And, you know, the work that they're doing to help us all understand that we only have one planet, we have to take care of it, and that's at the core of what their business is about. That is amazing to me. But other brands that have not been around as long as Patagonia's, another one that comes to mind is Back to the Roots. And so they started with mushroom growing kits, so you could grow mushrooms at home. And they moved into just some different categories. They even moved into cereal at one point. And now they have really honed in on the home gardening space. But their whole brand is about getting people connected to growing food and growing in the garden and being connected again to the land and to gardening and to the soil. And they get kids involved and they get parents involved, and they've built a really successful brand on that purpose.
Back to the Roots?
Back to the Roots.
I would love to see them bring a microgreens kit out. More people need to be growing and maybe they already have it.
Well, I think they do have some microgreen kits, and one of their first entrances into that category was they launched a fish tank, so that you could then grow microgreens on on the top of the fish tank.
Okay, and I have seen that.
And I think that product may still be around. I remember buying it for my son, who is now 18. He was only 8 or 9 at the time, but it was so fun to kind of put that together with him. But these Nikhil and Alex, the founders of Back to the Roots, they really connected to their community and what they wanted to see. And I think the community suggested that product, and they put it out there, and this kept learning and iterating from that. But they have unbelievable support from different kinds of investors. And they're 2 entrepreneurs that have just always inspired me with their vision and ability to get people to be part of the movement that they're building, not just selling them products.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's something that I've just started to think about with my brands, B Micro and Plant Frequencies Pie. How can I make more of a movement, something that people can get behind? It wasn't really an idea to me. I didn't realize that I was signing up for movements of other brands and that I was getting behind. So I know myself as a visionary. Are you familiar with the book Rocket Fuel?
I am, but I have not read it.
It's part of the EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System, like framework, tractions, typically like a first book people read, and just like how do you run a business? Just like how you have a iOS on your iPhone or you have Android. Those are like different operating systems for technology. There's different operating systems for just small to medium-sized businesses. This is a good one. Well, one of their books is called Rocket Fuel, and it helped me understand what type of founder I am. That there is a visionary, which is more of a Steve Jobs, Walt Disney, the marketing guy, the face of the company, more external facing. And then there's an integrator, not as well known, but that would be like the Steve Wozniak or the like Henry Ford had his brother. I think Walt Disney maybe had his brother as well. And these guys are more of the support crew, the more internal facing. They help to build the structures and the systems and the processes. They don't really want to be out in the light, the spotlight as much. And there's very few founders that are both of these things. So when you combine the visionary and the integrator together, which is kind of like a CEO and a COO together, that's when you get the rocket fuel. And I think it's really important for a lot of founders to realize that. I've only just recently realized that. I'm like, oh, I thought I had to do it all. And really, I'm to focus here on creating the vision and bringing in the external support and sales, marketing, kind of like here's the way we're going. And that integrator, finding that integrator partner to help build the boat to get us there.
Makes sense.
Big thanks to Mother-in-Law's Kimchi, my absolute favorite kimchi company. I'm not just saying that, I actually buy and eat this kimchi all the time. Quick story, I was recently road tripping. I was eating out a lot and my stomach was not happy. I stopped at my local Whole Foods, grabbed a jar of Mother-in-Law's. I go for the Napa cabbage, ate a few spoonfuls in the parking lot, and my stomach felt much better shortly after. Their kimchi is packed with pre and probiotics, and they're the only brand I know that still ferments their kimchi at ambient temperatures for that deep umami flavor. It tastes great. You can find Mother-in-Law's at Sprouts, Whole Foods, H-E-B, and many more. Sometimes I'll just eat a bunch. I don't know what the serving size is. That is good. Grab yourself one today.